When a master sculptor creates a beautiful work of art, they start off by just chipping away at a huge slab of raw stone until finally, at the very end, they take a fine cloth, they rub and they polish until it can sparkle in a way that captivates everyone in the room. In public forum debate, the final focus speech is that sparkling polish. It's the last 2 minutes of the round. It's your final chance to leave an impression on the judge. Yet sometimes debaters just gust into this delicate moment like an untamed hurricane, flinging every single idea and every piece of evidence swirling back into the round. If you do that, you aren't sculpting a masterpiece. You're just shouting into the wind. True winners don't try to win every single argument. They synthesize. Today, you're going to see how to act as a master sculptor, cooking up a storm and calibrating the judge's attention onto exactly why you win the round. Let's explore the 4 pillars of a sculpted final focus speech. Here's our framework for today. The narrow lens is how to completely isolate the round to the absolute core voting metrics for your side. Secondly, the mirror rule. This is the strict requirement of absolute strategic consistency between your partner's summary and your final focus speech. The impact, thirdly, how to explicitly execute world comparison weighing so that the judge sees that your world is fundamentally safer, fundamentally better than that of your opponent. And then finally, the ballot ghostwriter. This is the rhetorical framework to write the judge's ballot before they even pick up their pen. Let's take a look. The narrow lens. By the time you stand up for final focus, the debate has already evolved through constructives, rebuttals, summaries, and all the crossfires. The judge's flow sheet is covered in ink. The biggest mistake that you can make right now is to try and defend every single minor mistake that your opponent attacked. If you try to tell the judge everything, they remember nothing, and you'll more than likely run out of time. So apply the narrow lens. The final focus speech is a heavily sculpted reduction. Choose 1 or 2 primary concepts, your absolute strongest voting issues, and just forget the rest of the noise. Let's take a look at a real world example. Now imagine that you are debating the motion the United States should rewild substantial tracts of land. You are Con, and your case has focused on the severe loss of domestic agricultural production, rural economic devastation, and localized supply chain collapses. The pro team has very successfully attacked your minor subpoints about ecotourism displacement. So just drop your ecotourism argument. Address the judge and say something like this. Judge, at the end of this round, we will put aside tourism metrics and focus entirely on the single structural crisis of today's debate: the immediate threat to domestic food security and the gutting out of rural communities. By saying this, you have just got the judge to focus on exactly the issues that you want them to. Now let's look into the mirror rule. Once you have selected the winning battlefield, obey the next golden law of communication, the mirror rule. In public forum, the final focus speech cannot introduce completely new arguments, completely new evidence, and you should be following on from what your summary speaker partner has said before you. Think of it like a relay race. If your partner runs their leg of the race down the left side of the track and passes you the baton, you're not going to suddenly just turn around and start running down the other side of the track. Consistency of offense. Whatever voting issues it was that your partner collapsed in their summary speech must be the exact same voting issues that you extend in your final focus. And then secondly, of course, no new arguments. Introducing brand new pieces of evidence or totally new logical links in the final focus speech is not permitted and therefore will not be recognized. When you stand up and do your speech, you can highlight this. As my partner has mentioned in summary, our case stands on the central issues of ABC. The idea here is to create an unshakable sense of unity, authority, and consistency that the judge will definitely appreciate. Now let's look at the master mechanic that tends to decide close debate rounds: impact. Don't fall into the trap of thinking in final focus that your only job is to prove that your case is 100% true. Remember that by the end of the round, your opponent will have probably been doing the same thing. And if both cases stand, the judge doesn't vote for the side that is most true. They're going to vote for the side that matters more. So you must paint a vivid picture comparing 2 parallel realities and making your reality the stronger one. Back to the example of rewilding. Let's say that the pro team has successfully proved that rewilding will act as a powerful carbon trap. But you, the con team, have successfully proven that rewilding massive tracts of land permanently eliminates crucial domestic output. You don't just deny their carbon argument, you compare worlds. Judge, let's compare the two worlds. Pro gamble with domestic food security and destroy vital farming supply chains for a hypothetical localized reduction in carbon. In the con world, we maintain our food independence, protect the livelihoods of millions of families, and address environmental issues through targeted green tech manufacturing instead. The con world is fundamentally more secure. You aren't just presenting information here, you are weighing the future. Now, the final 30 seconds of the final focus speech is where you become the ghost ballot writer. Judges can often be tired at the end of a long tournament day. They're staring at a chaotic flow sheet swimming with ink and ideas, and they're trying to decide which team won and why. So offer them a helping hand. You can give them the exact sentence to write down. You can say, Judge, when you write down your reason for decision at the bottom of the ballot today, the choice is clear. Vote for con, because protecting domestic food security and rural livelihoods must always take precedence over hypothetical ecological speculation. By explicitly giving the judge the framing for their decision, you take all the friction out of their choice. You help voting for your team be the most logical decision that they can make. So to help you command those precious final 2 minutes in your next final focus round, let's wrap up. Lens. The final focus is a speech of absolute reduction. Strip away the minor subpoints and isolate the round in 1 to 2 key issues. Mirror. Absolute alignment with your partner's setup. Extend the same offensive voting issues established in the summary speech. No extra arguments, no extra evidence. Thirdly, impact. Standalone arguments rarely win debates. Weigh the worlds comparatively on magnitude, probability, and scope to favour your side. Finally, ballot, the ghostwriter. Guide the judge's final pen strokes. Verbally deliver the exact reason for decision straight to the ballot. And in the end, when the dust settles at the end of the round, the storm has passed and all is quiet. The judge isn't looking for the team who was able to survive a dust devil of data. They're looking for the team that brought the horizon back into focus. They are looking for the team that was able to show them why to vote.